Annemarie, thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure.
You joined Trepp as general counsel in 1990 and served various roles over the years before becoming CEO in 2005. Did you aspire to the CEO role early in your career at Trepp? And tell us about that path to CEO.
Initially, when I began at Trepp, my goal was to be a great general counsel and to really help this wonderful entrepreneurial company grow and thrive. So early on, the CEO spot wasn't in my sights. By around 2000, I was beginning to see that it was a role that I would aspire to someday, and the opportunity presented itself when Trepp was sold in '04, and between '04 to '05, an internal and external search began. That was a great opportunity for me to go for the role, but as a consolation prize, if I did not get it, I felt I also would have put my best foot forward with the new owners of Trepp and would use it as an opportunity for them to get to know me better as a future leader.
Once you assumed the CEO role, did you have an aha moment, or was it just business as usual?
It was definitely not business as usual. Almost immediately, notwithstanding that I had been in that company for 15 years, I said to my husband that first week, I feel like I'm in a brand new job in a brand new company, because you see it from a different perspective and everything is on your shoulder. Ultimately, although much is delegated and there was and still is a phenomenal team of people at Trepp, at the end of the day, it is on you. And so it was not business as usual. I think early on, if I could rewind, I would have actually given myself the luxury of taking a little more time to actually go on a fresh new tour of the company. Because although I knew it very, very well, what I ultimately did was take a deep dive into everything again, now with the fresh perspective of being the leader, responsible for everything, and having the ability to initiate changes for the long term. Now, all of that ultimately happened, but I didn't realize that on day one. Yeah. And that is what I think should be done. We recently hired a very, very talented executive to join the senior leadership team at Trepp. And before he came, he told us he was going to take 30 and then 60 and then 90 days to take a look at everything that was going to be under his purview and draw his insights, think about what he would need to keep, change, mold differently, and give us insights and recommendations along the way. And I think that's the way anyone should start a leadership role.
That's great advice, great insight too, and a lesson learned. One last question I have for you is, what advice do you have for women in commercial real estate who aspire to the C-suite?
In their current roles, they should take a step back and scrutinize what they are doing every day and every year and how much more it is teaching them and how much more experience it's giving them. And most importantly, they need to see if their role is tied to revenue generation and other value accretion to the company. They need to know how to make rain. They need to know how to make sure they get credit for that rain. And they need to consistently be able to prove that they can add to the revenue growth of the company. So they really have to look at that. If they don't like the answers when they look at that, they have to see if they can make changes within their existing company or if they should look elsewhere. Because I think at the end of the day, in real estate, so much is tied to being part of the financial performance of the business. Whether it's the developer, whether it's that you're the financer, whatever, you have to be tied to the money. So they need to do that. I also think that, therefore, they should build their network at all times. And I think that a very important exercise that they should undertake in their existing roles now.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure, Wendy.